We are live, and I'm trying to get my earbuds sorted. Getting a little slow tonight. Man. All right. So let's let a few people know that we're here. We can do that before we jump into this real quick. My channel. Here we are. There's the live stream. Boy, what an episode of WandaVision this week. Every week is just, it's so good. Uncover my comments before I forget to do that, and end up thinking there's nobody here if there is. Anyway, let's see here. There's to my page, and one more to the channel page. Let's do that. All right. Should we throw it on Mandy's page to see if she's paying attention? Maybe we will. Let's see. Where's the share button? Here we go. One more, and then we'll get busy. So if you jump into this live stream and you have not watched episode 5 of WandaVision, you need to back out and go watch it, then come back. All right. Excuse me. A little stuffy. All right. So again, how about that episode? First episode that's kind of blended. We got 3 episodes of exactly what was occurring in Westview during the with Scarlet Witch and Vision. Then episode 4 kind of broke down what was actually happening in the real world during the first 3 episodes, and then this week we get a blended episode, and I guess that's the way it'll be from here on out. Let's walk through this episode a little bit. So we open with the Vision and Scarlet Witch trying to deal with their new twins. Let's see here. If I can do this without screwing it all up, because we know that I'm old. I'm going to share the screen and go here. And how in the world did I do that? I have no idea. That was weird. Okay, we're going to try that one more time. There we go. Because we want to see what's on the screen. We don't really... You all didn't come here for this. Not this. I got a face for radio. All right. So we open up, and there's a lot of people that keep pushing this whole thing that it's just Wanda. That's what Monica Rambeau said when she was laying on the ground. It's all Wanda. And I don't believe it for a minute. I really believe that we're going to see Mephisto sooner or later. And I do believe it is important for the narrative that it looks like it's all Wanda. But there has been too much going on, too much stuff supporting the Mephisto theory for me to discount it. Everything from the fact that we know that this lady is probably playing Agnes is probably Agatha Harkness. And we know that there has to be, at this point, an outside force that is really trying to propel Wanda and Vision to have children, well, generate children in whatever way that they can, and must be right now through Wanda's abilities with, and here's the thing, do we really know of all the, I mean, there's so many questions. Do we really know where Wanda is drawing her power from? From her ability, from some of the things that she's done, like when she saw the beekeeper and she said no, and everything wound back. That looked like she's tapping into the time stone. And I have heard theories that suggest that she's really pulling, even though it was the Mind Stone, I believe, that gave her powers, that she's really pulling from all of the stones. That in some ways she is a walking infinity gauntlet. She's pulling from all of that. And that's possible. So we keep seeing things. We've kept seeing things. There's all this dialogue that keeps pointing to Mephisto. When Dottie said the devil's in the details, and then Agnes says that's not the only place he is. Oh, and then didn't There was a point where they were talking about a cat. And wasn't his name Mr. Scratch? And of course, Scratch being a reference to just one of the names that we've used for the devil over the years. Um, uh, and right here, so you've got the two babies in the cribs, and when she was rocking them, she was also spraying lavender, which is something that they do, uh, which is kind of witchcraft based toward the devil, which is just another sign that we're dealing with something supernatural here. Did think it was interesting that when Agnes comes in and Vision is kind of reluctant to let her handle the children, that she looked slightly disturbed and looked at Wanda to say, "Hey, have, should we take it from the top?" As though she is, man, she is aware of what's going on. She is really aware of what's going on, and it's hard to know exactly, whose behalf is she working on. But it does look like she knows enough to be afraid of Wanda. So then we have the little side conversation over here, and Agnes acting silly, and man, Vision just keeps pushing that idea that he knows that there's something else going on. Now, so let's talk about that. At the end of episode 4, is that episode 4? Yeah, because we had the double ending. We had the ending where we kind of saw where Wanda wanted us to see what we saw at the end of episode 3, and then at the end of episode 4 we saw at the end of episode 4 we saw what we thought was what was really happening. And I happened to catch a little bit of another theory that I kind of think might be spot on, that I hadn't really considered. How much of what we're seeing is what Wanda? All right, so there's what Wanda intends for us to see, and we feel like that in these broadcasts she's editing, so to speak, what we're seeing to what she wants us to see. But then what is she seeing? We remember there was that very shocking scene at the end of episode 4 where she's uh, looking at the Vision and seeing his corpse with the big hole in his forehead. And I kind of think that there's some merit to the idea that what she was seeing wasn't the reality. At first, I was kind of under the impression that maybe what she was seeing was a post traumatic vision. No pun intended. Post traumatic. Yeah, I don't know how to say it. Vision of what the Vision looked like when she last saw him. When she saw him get killed by Thanos. And but I hadn't really thought about the idea that perhaps what she saw when she looked at the vision and saw him in a corpse form standing there was more of a projection by Mephisto to keep her in line. Mephisto wants to keep Wanda in this bubble. Why, we don't know yet, but that's what I believe. And I believe the Vision is alive. I believe that that particular shot of him with the looking like his corpse with the hole in his head, I believe that. I agree. I think that was a projection by Mephisto to keep her in line. Because we keep talking about, and even I saw a video today of the director talking about Vision's character arc. If he's not there, if he's not alive, there is no character arc. He's just a prop. I believe he's alive. I believe what we saw was a projection by Mephisto. And that's where we're moving with that. And then so all right, so from there, do we need? Oh yeah, and the other thing, her to be so powerful, she had trouble with the stork. She couldn't quite get the babies to sleep. There's something else going on here. This is not just Wanda. I just don't believe that. Of course, I could be wrong, but I don't think so. So that's where we're at as we get through this first section with Vision and Scarlet Wanda and Agnes. Then from there, and I should have written it down, that we go to, well, we get that sappy 80s. Are we in the 80s now? I think we are. 80s sitcom theme music, and which is really true to form. Then we end up back with Sword. And so then, let's come over here. Because I'm old, I can't remember character names. So this dude, Josh Stanberg, who I can't remember what his character. Well, I guess we'll have to click on the IMDb. And so I can get... All right, Director Hayward, that's right. Wow. This is what happens when you get old. When I was a little kid, man, I could remember all sorts of details, football statistics galore, but anymore. All right, so Stanberg or Hayward is giving a briefing, and so he has Jimmy Woo give his little synopsis of what's going on, and that but there seems to be two agendas rubbing here. First, there's Woo just trying to give information, and then when Hayward follows him up, Woo is like, well, that's not quite exactly right. And it does seem like Hayward has it out for Wanda. There's some kind of beef or some sort of agenda to put this on Wanda. So now the question there becomes: Is there something? Is there something to that, or is he just one of those headstrong guys that they get it in their head that somebody's evil and or somebody else, they just believe a narrative and then they don't believe anything else. They just get kind of focused in and hard headed. I'm beginning to think there's more of a narrative. There's more of a agenda here that we don't know. Could he be working for Hydra? A possibility. I don't know. I'm not sure about that. I haven't worked all that out yet, but it seemed like there was definitely friction between both Ilm and Wu, and between Hilm and Rambeau on what was the information being presented, with Wu and Rambeau kind of being of the mindset that Wanda is not acting in a manner that where they think that she has evil intent, whereas Hayward just comes out and says, "Oh yeah, she's the main violator," and so what is his agenda? I don't know. I did make, if you remember now, I was admiring how some of these folks pick up on certain clues that I sometimes, I catch myself looking for and don't always see, like the person. Somebody caught it that his diplomas on his wall were hung in that hexagon type pattern. What does that mean? I don't know. But it's worth watching. This is going to be something that plays out. Well, even later on in this episode, but I think even farther down the road, there's going to be some issue here. So, so I thought that was interesting, kind of an interesting character play and kind of setting up of ideas. Now, here's something else that kind of bugged me, really bugged me. It's this whole area right here, and I can't find a decent picture of it, but basically, when they were doing the briefing, Hayward presented this and saying that Wanda was stealing they were in possession of the Vision's corpse, and that Wanda was here stealing it. Now, keep in mind that over 5 years had passed from the time that Thanos pulled the Mind Stone out of the Vision's head to this, where he's spread out all over all these tables. All right, if they were trying to just provide a secure burial or a secure custody of Vision's corpse so that he couldn't be used as a weapon, why do they have him all spread out over tables? This looks to me like Sword is trying to reverse engineer the Vision. And in the Marvel Universe, a lot of that always comes back to super soldiers. So if you can figure out how Stark and Banner put together the Vision, then you can have a whole bunch of super soldiers. Which, on the flip side, maybe it appears that's exactly what Mephisto is doing, only with Wanda, getting her to have offspring. Remember when we picked up with Wanda, we talked about this back early in these live streams when she was with Hydra, working for Hydra, and they were doing experimentation, and Strucker wouldn't, even when the Avengers attacked their base, Strucker wouldn't use them. He was more interested, I think, in trying to replicate them, and replicate them by them. I'm referring to Wanda and to Pietro, and maybe start another super soldier program. And I think that's exactly what's going on here with Sword, trying to taking apart the Vision and trying to reverse engineer him so that they can have their own synthesoid army. So, boy, and that makes you wonder about Wanda's power. She clearly doesn't have the technical ability to put the Vision back together. But does she need it? Because she does, if she can tap, like I keep coming back to that, to her rewinding time a couple of times in this series, and if she's able to tap into other powers like the Time Stone, who knows which one she used, but I think she's put the Vision back together. The Vision that we know. Because if she really is a walking Infinity Gauntlet now, that's just not beyond her. So that's where we've come. This was the point I wanted to make. Sword is not the innocent entity here, because they're doing some shady stuff with Vision's corpse at this point. All right, so then we go back to Westview. There's a scene where Wanda and the twins and a dog, and then of course Agnes shows up again. Let's see here. WandaVision, dogs. Let's see what we come up with there. There's the dog. There's Wanda with the dog and the boys. Of course, they were in the kitchen when they introduced the dog, and Agnes come in, and Vision was very upset with Wanda for kind of being a little brazen with her superpowers, with their witchcraft, and Vision saying, you're not protecting our secret, basically. And she was saying stuff like, I'm tired of hiding it. And so we get the dog. The dog has weird little bit where the dog's over by an electrical outlet and gets named Sparky, which is from the comics, but yeah, just a whole little weird bit. And of course, the kids age themselves. Vision says you can't really have a dog until you're at least 10. And so before they know it, the kids have aged themselves up to 10. And so we have that scene going on. And I wonder, let me take this down just for a second. I want to see. Remove. All right. Kind of want to. Don't know if I can do this from the desktop or not. But I kind of wanted to get back into the episode because I can't quite remember. You'd think I remember. I could do this whole thing. Exactly, because I've watched it. We'll back up, and you're just not going to cooperate, are you? Well, let's scoot you up then. See if that works. And so I'm trying to see exactly where we are in the episode. This is episode 4. I want episode 5. I apologize. Okay, so here are the... Okay, so from there, we go back to the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., or Agents of S.W.O.R.D. Oh, yeah, and then this is the scene where they're kind of working their dry erase board or what have you, and figuring out what's what. And Monica Rambeau has a sudden revelation that about how things convert from inside and outside of the dome. And she goes to, and they run down to the lab, and she, of course, just to be all dramatic, she grabs Jimmy Woo's gun and just starts firing. Oh yeah, here's my and if you remember her fish pants from the beginning of episode 3, her fish pants are bulletproof, so meaning that they've been altered, transformed into, it was the stuff that she was wearing when she went into the to the sphere had been altered. So I guess whatever because she had a different outfit, I guess that was the same thing. It just kept altering every time that they changed time periods. So we have that little revelation. Then we have the scene where Vision is at work and he gets the email. And somehow he is doing some kind of Vulcan mind meld thing where he's knocking his co-workers in and out of consciousness, as far as whether they think whether they're being manipulated or not. So he's realizing there's more to it. I was trying to get back to what the email. said, okay, well, I almost had it. How do the guys that do the live streams right after the show? All right. So Darcy Lewis's findings regarding Maximoff anomaly, higher levels of radiation present at perimeter, effect on Westview residents unknown. Please advise. And that's Vision seeing this. And so, he's becoming more and more aware of what's going on outside. Then we go back to the house, and they're playing with the dog and talking about Pietro. And this is when they decide to send in a drone. Monica thinks she's going in to talk to Wanda with the drone. Then Hayward surprises her by he's got this drone loaded and wants to take a shot at Wanda. And not a good thing. Now, in the meantime, the dog Sparky has gotten lost. But he takes the shot at Wanda. Well, of course, Wanda deals with it. You don't take a knife to a gunfight, and you're not going to take out Wanda Maximoff with a drone strike. That's not going to happen. So then we kind of leave from inside, and in one of the crazy. I'm trying to think of a good word for it. Just badass move. Wanda Maximoff comes walking out of the Hex sphere and is dragging their little drone and throws it at their feet. And is not caring at all that she has all of these guns with their lasers pointed right on her chest. She could care less. She is her, Sokovian accent is up front and center, and she's telling them in no uncertain terms what she thinks of them and how she's going to deal with it. She's got her right hand's glowing red. She's ready to throw down. Monica tries to talk sense to her, and how much she's getting through to Wanda is kind of hard to tell. But Wanda's not really hearing it. So one flip of her hand, and all of a sudden, all the agents turn their guns on the chief there. And I guess now he'll have to go find a clean pair of shorts. Because, and then, of course, Wanda walks back into that sphere with it glowing bright red. And that's just telling you don't want to. Everybody was talking about how big and bad Captain Marvel was leading into Endgame. Really? I'm thinking Scarlet Witch is looking pretty big and bad right now. All right, then we go to our weekly commercial, which Lagos, the country where she had the accident. Where, all right, so they were in a fight with that Captain America villain. And I can't remember his name. Captain America villain from Ultron. Let's see here. Captain America villain from Age of Ultron was not the Red Skull, not Baron Zemo. Let's get in here. She ended up getting into it. Oh, or was that from Captain America Civil War? That was from Civil War. All right, so Captain America villain from Civil War. They're going to tell me same thing, except we'll scroll down here. Plot. And Crossbones. Oh my gosh. All right. I'm sorry. Put people through that, but that's, yeah. So if you're watching this back, I'm sorry. But yeah, Crossbones was who I was trying to think of. So she was fighting Crossbones, lifted him up in the air, and he blew up and killed a bunch of people. So that's why we've got this Lagos. That's where it occurred, and it's that for accidents, which is really kind of dark humor. Talk about dark humor, and that's red Kool-Aid, which represents the blood of all the people that she spilled. And yeah, whoops. And so this gives some reason why people are afraid of Wanda. If you remember, there was that whole scene in Civil War, I believe, that she and Vision were talking, and he was trying to explain to her how people were afraid of her. And all right, so then after the commercial, we go back, and it's Agnes with the dog, and he's dead from eating her azaleas. And so the kids are showing an awareness of her abilities, saying that she could bring them back. She's telling them no. And Vision comes up and kind of consoles. But then they go back home, and she tries to roll the end credits, and it doesn't work. And she and Vision really get into it, a heated discussion. He knows that she's doing stuff, and he knows he can't remember who he was. That there's more to what's going on, and he's trying to talk some sense into her, and she's letting that kind of psycho side of herself out, because there was a point where Vision says, no, you're not going to do this. And she says, well, I'm not. Pretty defiant to him. and they're going back and forth, and so you don't know how fractured her psyche is, because there's things that she says she doesn't know, and seems earnest about it. But then we just watched her go out and confront Sword and basically put them on notice that you're not messing this up. So she's all kinds of torn, grief stricken. Now she's, and then of course we get the final reveal where she goes to the door, and it's her brother Pietro, but it's not Pietro from the from Age of Ultron. It's Pietro from the X-Men movies. And so where are we going with this? So this where we start going really dealing with the multiverse? I really think that this series, and we've got we've 4 more episodes. I don't know how this will wrap as far as a singular storyline, but I got a feeling that no matter how it wraps, at the same time, they may give us some answers. They may let us know how certain things wrap. But I think we're also going headlong into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. And I think part of the Multiverse of Madness is referring to Wanda and as the Scarlet Witch and what she's doing to unravel reality. And yeah, so fascinating. I'd like to know more about, and it'll be interesting to see if there's discussion between Wanda and what's his name already that I forgot, Hayward, about what they were doing with Vision, because that didn't look cool. And so anyway, I've rambled enough. I'm gonna get off here. If you listen to me ramble, hey, thanks for coming in. Leave me a comment. I see there are some views every week, and I appreciate that. But part of this is for interaction. If you have theories, let me know, and let's have some discussion about it. And but anyway, until next week, and I hear it's going to get a lot more complicated as we go forward. So hope you're having a great week. Be safe. We got that ice storm coming. At least through this part of the country, we got an ice storm coming. Stay safe, and we'll see you next week. Peace.